Florida is sunshine, beaches, palm trees. But beneath the paradise, some cities hide a darker truth. While millions dream of moving to Florida for retirement, affordable living, or the beach lifestyle, not every city is safe. Some places have shockingly high violent crime rates, dangerous neighborhoods, and reputations that put residents at risk. Today, we're counting down the 10 most dangerous cities in Florida you should never move to. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Where to Live TV, and turn on notifications. We break down the safest, most affordable, and most dangerous cities across America, so you can make smart choices before you move. Now, coming in at number 10 is Tallahassee, the capital city of Florida. Now, when most people think of a state capital, they imagine well-kept neighborhoods, safe communities, and a city that represents stability. But Tallahassee tells a very different story. Despite being home to Florida's government offices, Tallahassee struggles with a violent crime rate that consistently sits above both the state and national average. One of the biggest issues here is aggravated assault, a crime category that is significantly higher than what you'd expect for a city of this size. Robberies, burglaries, and even car thefts are frequent concerns, especially in certain neighborhoods where law enforcement is stretched thin. For new residents, this means safety is something you can't afford to overlook. Adding to the challenge is the fact that Tallahassee is a major college town, with Florida State University and Florida A&M University bringing in tens of thousands of students. The city has a younger, more transient population. While that fuels a vibrant nightlife and cultural scene, it also drives up crime in very specific categories. Think theft, robbery, and alcohol-related incidents. Break-ins near student housing are not uncommon, and locals often warn about being extra cautious around nightlife hotspots after dark. Now let's be clear, Tallahassee isn't all bad. The city does have charm, with its rolling hills, oak-lined streets, and historic landmarks. It's less flat than the rest of Florida, and has a personality that feels a bit more southern than coastal. For some, that's a refreshing change. But even with this character, crime casts a shadow. Many long-term residents say you need to know exactly which neighborhoods are safe and which ones to avoid. While some areas feel family-friendly and community-driven, others deal with regular reports of violent crime and break-ins. So what does this mean for someone considering a move? On paper, Tallahassee seems attractive. It's more affordable than Miami or Orlando, with a median home price hovering well below the state's coastal hotspots. You'll also find good job opportunities in government, education, and healthcare. But affordability comes with trade-offs. Safety remains the number one concern. Property crime rates make it risky for homeowners and renters alike, while violent crime is a deal-breaker for families seeking peace of mind. If you're a retiree looking for a quiet and safe Florida retirement, Tallahassee may not be the right choice. If you're a young professional wanting vibrant city life without constant safety concerns, you might find better options in smaller Florida cities like Gainesville or Lakeland. For families, safety in schools and neighborhoods is often the tipping point, and Tallahassee's mixed crime reputation makes many parents think twice. So while Tallahassee may carry the title of Florida's capital, it doesn't hold the crown when it comes to safety. Its mix of affordability, charm, and opportunity is weighed down by persistent crime issues, making it a city you may want to think twice about before calling home. Number 9 on our list is Riviera Beach, a small city tucked into Palm Beach County on Florida's Atlantic coast. With a population of just under 40,000, Riviera Beach is not a large city, yet its violent crime rate is shockingly high, far above both the state and national averages. Residents and law enforcement point to a persistent mix of issues, gangs, drugs, and armed robberies, that have fueled the city's crime statistics for years. While Palm Beach is famous for wealth and luxury, Riviera Beach has often stood out for the opposite reasons, creating a stark contrast that can surprise newcomers. Drug activity and gang-related violence have historically plagued parts of the city, perpetuating a cycle that discourages long-term investment and community stability. The result is a place where natural beauty and criminal risk stand side by side. Luxury yachts at the marina just blocks away from neighborhoods struggling with safety. But what makes Riviera Beach so striking is the contrast. You can stand on a beautiful stretch of waterfront, looking out at million-dollar yachts, and just a few blocks away, find neighborhoods where crime is a daily reality. It's a city of extremes, natural beauty and dangerous streets existing side by side. On paper, Riviera Beach does have things going for it. Housing prices here are generally lower than in surrounding Palm Beach County, making it look affordable compared to places like West Palm Beach or Jupiter. The location is excellent if you love boating, fishing, or beach life. But as many relocation experts point out, affordability comes with a steep cost in safety. Families moving here often discover that what they save in housing prices is quickly outweighed by worries about security, school safety, and crime in their neighborhoods. So, who should avoid Riviera Beach? If you're a retiree looking for a safe and peaceful coastal town, this probably isn't the place for you. If you're a young family with children, the risks may outweigh the benefits of lower housing costs. Even for young professionals, the city's reputation for crime makes it a questionable choice compared to safer towns just a short drive away. Riviera Beach has the bones of a coastal paradise, a great location, affordable real estate, and natural beauty. But its long-standing struggle with violent and property crime makes it a city that's often ranked among the most dangerous in Florida. Until the safety issues are truly addressed, this is one Florida destination that's better admired from a distance than lived in full-time. Coming in at number 8 is Lake Worth Beach, a coastal city in Palm Beach County that mixes small-town charm with big city challenges. At first glance, Lake Worth Beach looks like a hidden gem. The downtown district is vibrant, filled with colorful murals, local restaurants, and a lively art scene. The beaches are postcard-worthy, and the city attracts both tourists and new residents drawn to its affordable housing compared to neighboring Boca Raton or West Palm Beach. But behind the pastel storefronts and tropical appeal, Lake Worth Beach struggles with crime rates that are higher than the Florida average. Violent crime is a particular concern, with aggravated assaults and robberies reported at levels that make safety an ongoing challenge. The city's property crime rate is also troubling. Burglaries, car break-ins, and theft are frequent enough that residents often say you can't leave valuables unattended, even briefly. Part of the problem stems from the city's economic divide. While some neighborhoods are revitalizing and seeing growth, others remain stuck with poverty, unemployment, and lack of investment. These disparities create areas where crime flourishes, even while the beachfront and artsy downtown market a very different image. It's this imbalance that often surprises newcomers. The experience of living in Lake Worth Beach can change drastically from block to block. Another factor is its popularity as a nightlife hub. Bars and clubs along the downtown strip bring energy, but also contribute to alcohol-related crime, disturbances, and occasional violence. Law enforcement has made strides to increase patrols and improve community safety, but residents say challenges remain. For those considering moving here, the trade-off is clear. On one hand, you get cultural diversity, relative affordability, and access to some of South Florida's best beaches. On the other, you must weigh the safety concerns that continue to shape daily life. Lake Worth Beach has the potential to be a thriving coastal community, but until crime rates are brought under control, it stands as yet another Florida city where beauty and danger coexist. Number 7 on our list is Daytona Beach, a city that many people instantly recognize. Known worldwide for its sandy beaches, NASCAR's Daytona 500, and a spring break scene that draws thousands of college students every year, Daytona Beach has long been marketed as a destination city. From surf shops to boardwalk attractions, it's a place that thrives on tourism and entertainment. But beneath the bright lights and beachside fun, Daytona Beach has serious crime issues that set it apart from the postcard image. According to recent FBI crime data, the violent crime rate in Daytona Beach is more than double the national average. Residents face a far different reality than the millions of tourists who only see the ocean and racetrack. Aggravated assaults, robberies, and burglaries remain common, and the per capita crime numbers place it among the most dangerous cities in Florida. One major factor is the transient population. With millions of visitors cycling through each year, including spring breakers and event crowds, Daytona Beach experiences spikes in crime tied to tourism. While visitors are often shielded from the worst of it, locals live with the long-term consequences, from thefts and car break-ins to violent altercations that rarely make the headlines. Another issue is property crime. Many neighborhoods report high rates of burglary and larceny, with residents frequently warning newcomers about the importance of securing their homes and vehicles. For families looking to settle down, this creates an undercurrent of unease. What might feel like an affordable coastal lifestyle on paper can quickly shift once the hidden costs of safety and security are factored in. The city's nightlife adds another layer of complexity. Bars, clubs, and spring break festivities inject money into the local economy, but they also fuel alcohol-related crime and disturbances. Law enforcement has made efforts to keep order during peak events, but the overall crime rate suggests that these efforts haven't yet shifted the long-term picture. What makes Daytona Beach especially challenging for residents is the gap between its global reputation and daily reality. To tourists, it's a quick getaway. To locals, it can mean dealing with neighborhood crime, underfunded schools, and safety concerns that outsiders never imagine. The glamour of the Daytona 500 and Bike Week may put the city on the map, but for people who live there year-round, the struggles overshadow the spotlight. Affordable housing is one of Daytona Beach's main draws, especially compared to other coastal Florida cities. But experts warn that the cost savings may not be worth the safety trade-off. For retirees or families with young children, the elevated risk of both violent and property crime makes it a city worth reconsidering. Daytona Beach may always be a beloved vacation spot, but when it comes to long-term living, it ranks as one of the most dangerous choices in the Sunshine State. Number 6 on our list is Homestead, a city in South Florida that sits as a gateway to both the Everglades and the Florida Keys. On the surface, Homestead seems like an attractive place to live. It offers proximity to Miami without Miami's sky-high housing prices. It's also one of the few areas in South Florida where families can still find relatively affordable single-family homes. Add in its agricultural heritage, diverse community, and access to outdoor beauty, and Homestead can look like a smart choice. But that affordability comes with a price, and that price is safety. Homestead consistently ranks among the most dangerous cities in Florida. According to FBI uniform crime reporting data, the violent crime rate in Homestead is around 1,165 incidents per 100,000 residents, more than 3 times higher than the national average of roughly 370 per 100,000. That means residents face a significantly higher risk of being a victim of assault, robbery, or even homicide compared to most places in the country. Drug activity and gang presence are ongoing problems in Homestead. Certain neighborhoods have developed reputations for organized criminal activity, and law enforcement continues to target hotspots where violent incidents tend to cluster. Shootings and armed robberies, while not daily events, are frequent enough to keep residents on edge. For families with children, these crime patterns make safety a top concern. Property crime is another layer to the problem. The rate of burglary and theft in Homestead is also well above the national average. In 2023, the city recorded property crime rates exceeding 3,800 incidents per 100,000 people, compared to the U.S. average of about 1,954. That means break-ins, car thefts, and larcenies are nearly twice as common as in the average American city. Residents often invest in security cameras, reinforced locks, and alarm systems simply to feel secure in their own homes. The challenges don't end there. Homestead's role as a lower-cost housing alternative to Miami has created rapid population growth, but city infrastructure hasn't always kept pace. Some areas suffer from underfunded schools, limited healthcare access, and pockets of poverty, conditions that fuel the cycle of crime and instability. This creates a stark contrast. Newer subdivisions may look inviting, but just a few miles away, crime and poverty remain stubbornly entrenched. In the end, Homestead is a place of contrasts. Affordable homes but costly safety concerns, natural wonders but neighborhoods shadowed by crime. It's the kind of city that reminds us why relocation requires deep research beyond the surface. If you're drawn by the housing prices or the proximity to Miami, just remember, the crime rates here aren't simply statistics, they're part of the daily reality for many residents. Number 5 on our list is Pompano Beach, a city that many outsiders might find surprising to see ranked as one of Florida's most dangerous. After all, Pompano Beach sits on the Atlantic coast in Broward County, blessed with gorgeous sandy beaches, a thriving fishing community, and easy access to Fort Lauderdale and Miami. On the surface, it looks like a dream destination. Oceanfront condos, a newly revitalized pier, and an influx of investment meant to give the city a fresh image. But for residents, the story is far more complicated. Pompano Beach has long struggled with crime rates that overshadow its coastal beauty. According to FBI uniform crime reporting data, the violent crime rate in Pompano Beach is around 900 incidents per 100,000 residents. That's more than double the U.S. national average of 370 per 100,000. This means assaults, robberies, and in some cases homicides are far more common than people expect when they picture life in a beach city. The problem doesn't stop there. Property crime is one of the biggest issues Pompano Beach faces. The city reports a property crime rate of nearly 4,200 incidents per 100,000 residents, compared to a national average of about 1,954. That puts Pompano Beach among the worst in Florida for break-ins, larceny, and auto theft. Residents frequently complain about car break-ins in both residential and commercial areas. Leaving valuables in plain sight is practically an invitation for theft, and even gated communities aren't immune. Certain neighborhoods have reputations that residents openly warn newcomers about. While some areas of Pompano Beach are undergoing gentrification and development, others remain deeply affected by poverty, drugs, and gang-related activity. This uneven distribution of safety means that moving just a few blocks in one direction can drastically change your experience of the city. Theft and robbery are persistent issues tied to Pompano Beach's mix of tourism and economic inequality. The influx of visitors helps drive the local economy, but it also creates opportunities for crime. Tourists often underestimate the risks, while residents know that being vigilant is simply part of daily life. Local authorities have tried to tackle crime with increased policing and community programs, and there have been improvements in certain districts. However, the statistics still paint a troubling picture. Families looking for stability often find themselves weighing the appeal of affordable housing and coastal living against the risks of becoming part of those crime statistics. For retirees or families hoping to enjoy Florida's famous coastal lifestyle, Pompano Beach presents a paradox. The ocean is breathtaking, the culture is vibrant, and the real estate, compared to nearby Fort Lauderdale, can be more affordable. But the trade-off is safety, and it's one that many aren't willing to make. Until crime rates see a consistent and dramatic decline, Pompano Beach remains a city where the dangers behind the postcard-perfect scenery are impossible to ignore. Number 4 on our list is Jacksonville, a city that often surprises newcomers. Not only is Jacksonville the largest city in Florida, it's also the largest city by land area in the entire United States, covering more than 840 square miles. With a metro population of nearly 1.7 million, Jacksonville has become known as one of Florida's more affordable big cities. Housing prices here remain lower than Miami, Orlando, or Tampa, and its location on the St. Johns River with easy access to the Atlantic Ocean makes it attractive for families, military personnel, and retirees alike. But despite its size and appeal, Jacksonville has long struggled with a crime problem that places it among the most dangerous cities in the Sunshine State. According to 2023 FBI data and local law enforcement reports, Jacksonville recorded a violent crime rate of around 685 incidents per 100,000 residents, nearly double the national average. While that number doesn't make it Florida's most violent city per capita, Jacksonville's sheer size means the number of crimes that occur each year is among the highest in the state. Homicides are a particularly troubling issue. In 2022, Jacksonville reported 162 murders, giving the city one of the highest homicide totals in Florida, far exceeding numbers seen in other large cities like Orlando or Tampa. The murder rate sits around 13 per 100,000 residents, well above the U.S. average of 6.3. Much of this violence is linked to gang activity, drug disputes, and concentrated poverty in certain neighborhoods. Gang presence remains a reality in Jacksonville, fueling much of the city's violent crime. Law enforcement has documented multiple active gangs operating across different districts, particularly on the city's north side and west side. Property crime is also widespread. Jacksonville reports property crime rates above 300 incidents per 100,000 residents, compared to the national average of 1,954. That includes burglaries, auto thefts, and larceny. Many residents caution newcomers to invest in home security systems, motion lights, and reinforced locks as part of normal life in the city. Jacksonville has taken steps to improve safety. Police patrols have increased, community programs have expanded, and some neighborhoods are seeing revitalization. Yet, despite these efforts, the city continues to rank near the top in Florida for total violent crimes and murders. Residents often say that while Jacksonville offers opportunity and affordability, it comes with a risk that shouldn't be overlooked. For those considering relocation, Jacksonville can be appealing on paper. You get lower housing costs, a booming port economy, military bases, and a city with a growing cultural scene. But crime is the shadow that lingers. The numbers show clearly that Jacksonville remains one of the most dangerous places in Florida, a city where affordability comes with a trade-off in safety. Until crime rates show a sustained drop, it will remain a place where newcomers must carefully choose their neighborhoods and weigh the risks before calling it home. Number 3 on our list is Orlando, the so-called tourist capital of the world. It's home to Walt Disney World, Universal Studios, and countless resorts that attract more than 70 million visitors a year. On the surface, Orlando is a global brand for fun, magic, and family-friendly vacations. But once you step outside the carefully maintained tourist corridors, the daily reality for residents tells a very different story. Behind the magic, Orlando faces a serious crime problem. According to 2023 FBI crime data, the city's violent crime rate stands at around 760 incidents per 100,000 residents, more than double the national average of 370. That means assaults, robberies, and in some cases homicides are far more common than most outsiders realize. Property crime is even worse, with a rate of 3,900 incidents per 100,000, nearly twice the U.S. average. For locals, that translates into car break-ins, burglaries, and thefts being part of everyday life. Tourism plays a big role in Orlando's crime landscape. Visitors often bring money, valuables, and a sense of security, and that makes them targets. The nightlife zones around International Drive, downtown Orlando, and even areas near theme parks see high levels of theft, robbery, and alcohol-related crime. What's hidden from the tourist brochures is that violent incidents regularly occur within blocks of Orlando's most popular destinations. Neighborhood divides add another layer. While tourist resorts like Lake Buena Vista and Celebration are designed for safety and convenience, many residential areas just minutes away struggle with violent crime and poverty. Communities on Orlando's west side, parts of Pine Hills, and certain downtown districts have earned reputations for being unsafe, with residents warning newcomers to avoid walking after dark. Local news outlets frequently cover shootings and violent incidents that never make it onto national headlines. In 2022 alone, Orlando reported 84 homicides, one of the highest totals in the state. Police continue to link many of these crimes to gang activity, drug disputes, and socioeconomic struggles in underserved neighborhoods. Law enforcement and community organizations are working hard to reduce these numbers. Police presence has increased in tourist zones, and neighborhood watch programs are active in many districts. Yet the statistics show the challenge remains steep. Orlando is still among the top cities in Florida for total violent crime, and residents say they must stay alert whether they're downtown, in nightlife districts, or even at the mall. For retirees or families looking to relocate, Orlando offers opportunity and energy. But the question is whether you're prepared for the realities that locals face: high crime rates, unsafe neighborhoods, and the knowledge that behind the fairy tale image lies one of Florida's most dangerous cities to live in. The theme parks may sell dreams, but Orlando's crime numbers tell a much harsher story. Number 2 on our list is Miami Gardens, a city with a vibrant culture, beautiful neighborhoods, and a proud community. It's home to Hard Rock Stadium, where the Miami Dolphins play, and it sits in the middle of the action in South Florida. On the surface, it looks like an ideal place to live, especially with its spacious homes and family-oriented vibe. But Miami Gardens has developed a reputation as one of Florida's most dangerous cities. The violent crime rate here is significantly higher than both the state and national averages. Residents face a troubling mix of robberies, aggravated assaults, and homicides, making safety a daily concern in many neighborhoods. According to recent data, Miami Gardens reports roughly 7 to 8 violent crimes per 1,000 residents each year, which is far above what you'd expect from a suburban community. One of the city's biggest struggles is gun violence. Over the years, Miami Gardens has seen high-profile shootings that have shaken the community and drawn media attention. Law enforcement has worked hard to increase patrols and community policing, but the issue continues to be a serious challenge. Drug activity and poverty also play a role. Some neighborhoods face economic hardship, creating conditions where crime can thrive. While there are beautiful gated communities and cultural hotspots, there are also areas where residents live with constant worry about their safety. The city has made efforts to turn things around, with local leaders investing in youth programs and redevelopment projects. But despite progress, Miami Gardens still carries the nickname Florida's murder capital, a stark reminder of how deeply crime has affected the area. For anyone considering a move here, the contrast is sharp. On one hand, you'll find strong community spirit, cultural pride, and great homes. On the other, you can't ignore the statistics that place Miami Gardens among the most dangerous cities in Florida. And finally, at number 1, Miami. An iconic city instantly recognized around the world. From the white sands of South Beach to the glittering skyline of Brickell, Miami sells an image of luxury, nightlife, and cultural fusion. Tourists arrive in the millions every year, drawn to the beaches, the clubs, the shopping, and the energy that never seems to sleep. To outsiders, Miami is paradise. But for residents, Miami is also one of the most dangerous places to live in Florida. Miami's crime problem has deep roots, tied to its history of drug trafficking, organized crime, and neighborhood divides. In 2023, Miami reported a violent crime rate of roughly 800 incidents per 100,000 residents, more than double the national average. While that's lower than its worst years in the 1980s and 90s, it still places Miami among Florida's most violent big cities. Homicides remain a persistent issue. In 2022, Miami recorded 141 murders, making it one of the highest totals in the state. Many of these deaths are linked to gang disputes and drug activity, which still have a strong presence in parts of the city. Neighborhoods like Liberty City, Overtown, and Little Haiti struggle with concentrated poverty and higher crime levels, while wealthier districts like Coral Gables and Coconut Grove feel like different worlds entirely. The divide is stark. Luxury condos and multi-million-dollar homes sit just miles from blocks where violent crime is a daily fear. Property crime is another major concern. Miami's property crime rate stands at 3,700 incidents per 100,000 residents, nearly double the national average. Car theft, burglary, and larceny remain rampant. Tourists especially are frequent targets. Rental cars broken into near beaches, phones stolen in nightlife districts, and scams targeting visitors who believe Miami's glitz equals safety. Locals know better. The affordability factor adds insult to injury. Miami is one of the most expensive housing markets in the U.S. Median home prices and rents have skyrocketed in recent years, yet safety has not kept pace. For many families, the question isn't just whether they can afford Miami, it's whether they can survive it. In the end, Miami is a city of extremes: luxury and poverty, paradise and violence, opportunity and danger. To the outside world, it's an icon. But for those considering relocation, the dark side of Miami is one you cannot afford to ignore. As we've seen, Florida is a state of contrasts. On one hand, it's known for sunshine, beaches, and a booming lifestyle that attracts millions every year. But beneath the postcard-perfect image, some of its cities struggle with violent crime, property theft, and deep-rooted challenges that every potential resident should be aware of. The truth is, moving to a new city isn't just about the cost of living or the beauty of the landscape. It's about safety, community, and quality of life. And while every city has good neighborhoods and bad, it's critical to know the risks before you make one of the biggest decisions of your life. If you're considering Florida as your next home, do your research, visit the neighborhoods, talk to locals, and understand the reality beyond the headlines. Florida can be paradise, but in the wrong zip code, it can quickly feel like the opposite. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, hit the like button, share it with someone considering a move, and don't forget to subscribe to Where to Live TV for more honest guides about the best, and worst places to call home. Because where you live matters,